Hey, it's Trixie. Welcome to the underground. Hope you had a great 4th of July. My cat would argue, get these fireworks out of my house. Okay, I'll tell you, I spent the 4th of July with my mom. I finally got her to watch Parasite. And usually, she didn't want to watch it's South Korean. It's got subtitles. And usually she's like this. I'll look over and it's like she's on propofol. But this movie, she's like, where's she going? What's going on? Who's down there? The movie's gripping. If you get a chance, watch it. It's on HBO now. It won Movie of the Year, I think, for the Oscars in either 2019 and 2020 during COVID. I just decided to watch it. I watched it again. I was like, this movie's really good. Good actors. It was funny and sad at the same time about classes, how rich people think of poorer people, that kind of stuff. Were you bothered by people shooting off fireworks in your neighborhood? I wasn't. I usually do get a little mad if it's late at night, but I kind of looked out my porch and it was right basically in my front yard. So I kind of, thank you for the free fireworks. Thank you for the free display. Some people did not like it. These neighbors took issue with their neighbors who were drunk and lighting them off at 3 a.m., so they got up at 7 a.m. and got revenge. I don't know if I would do that. I don't believe in, really making your neighbors upset. And this guy is like the world's worst neighbor, Arthur Furstenberg. He sued his neighbor for $1.43 million in 2010, claiming her iPhone and Wi-Fi usage upset his electromagnetic sensitivity. Okay? 5 years later, he complained about another neighbor. This guy's got a problem. Who painted his fence, calling it dangerous and unattractive paint. He said he's been sensitive to electromagnetic waves. I don't even know what the heck that means. Since he was a student in med school, so he dropped out. So he's kind of like, okay, I didn't make it, so I'm going to make everybody miserable around me. His neighbor had to move out of the neighborhood because she won I guess the Court of Appeals dismissed it without merit. It's not, obviously. Give me a break. She's using her iPhone and Wi-Fi too much. But she couldn't afford to live there anymore. So he turned his wrath on another neighbor. The poor guy. Sorry, I'm choking. I had a cookie before I walked in. So he complained that the fence was it had a mildew side and ingredients that are known to cause cancer. Everything we touch causes it. How do I know this water doesn't cause cancer? I don't know. The air we breathe causes cancer. It's horrible. But this guy's the world's worst neighbor. I saw this cool video of this videographer, whatever. This injured lion was limping around. He kind of sat down because he was kind of I'm not going any further. I'm kind of tired and hurt. And the 2 hyenas came after him. They were going to eat him for lunch. And they called over to the pack. And an elephant just kind of waltzes into the view, walks by the lion. And lions and elephants are not really friends because the lions eat the elephant calves. So the elephant trumpets over and chases the hyenas. Don't you love elephants? They're so cool. I hope the lion appreciated that, really. It's amazing. According to the New Yorker, ex-Ocean Gate executive, he did their finance director. He said it hired teens as engineers and paid them $15 an hour, like working at Dunkin' Donuts. They charge $250,000 to get in that Tylenol capsule, and then they charge $15 an hour. Also hiring college-age interns to design and build the Titan's electrical system. I have no issue with kids, I'm telling you, but I think cutting corners is the problem here. That guy, Stockton Rush, he's, buying his stuff at Camping World and expired carbon fiber for the hull. I mean, what the heck? What was he trying to do? I don't know. It's insane. We're going to talk a little bit about personalities, flags. There's something called a beige flag. I never heard of a beige flag. I guess we all have them. They're neutral traits, not positive, not negative. So it's conversation habits. So someone asking you what your sign is, like they did in the 70s. Hey, how you doing? My name is blah, blah, blah. What's your sign? I'm a Libra. We're balanced. No, not really. I'm usually out of balance. Their nesting habits, unfinished drinks in the fridge. This is me. I will not finish it. There'll be a sip left and I'll put it in the fridge and open up a new one. I'll have a bag of Cheetos and I'll eat half of it until all the big ones are gone, and then the little pieces are left. And so then I just kind of open a new bag. I got 10,000 like small bags of Cheetos on top of my fridge. Not normal. So that's a beige flag. Or uncommon like phobias, like aversion. I've got a phobia about fire because of Mary Jane Volmar in junior high school. She had burns all the way down her leg. I'm like, what happened to you? She's like, I was caught in a house fire. Ever since then, I'm on my stove like this, like until I can feel it 50 times. I'm insane. And that's, again, beige flag. Of course, I got some red flags too. Red flags are kind of like you're road raging. That's me. I don't get too upset often. I just kind of want to pass the person swerving in the road. And one time this guy went through a red light and then he turned and I was going in that direction. So I kind of went in the parking lot and I said, do you realize you went through a red light? And he said, I'm sorry. So it's okay. As long as you like the way you react, you're not mean, how you approach someone, like you don't get out of your car with a knife, that kind of thing. Special interest, a person who loves a certain type of animal like me with elephants, or deeply invested in vitamins. Oh my gosh, my ex-manager. We went to Boston and we ended up going to Salem, but we went to breakfast that morning. He had, I'm not kidding you, 30 bottles of vitamins on the table. And I said, what's this one for? He couldn't tell me. What's this one for? 30? Well, how are you going to take 30 pills a day? What the heck's wrong with you? Personality traits, humming, whistling. I have a friend that whistles when we're in the car. And he's kind of getting better. He whistles to the tunes I'm playing. Someone constantly getting lost. That would be me if I didn't have my GPS. I couldn't get here. Red flags. A person sucks at communication. Yeah, I've had relationships like that. Liars. I've had relationships like that. Liars, cheaters, not having, normal boundaries. Yellow flags are like yellow lights, just proceed with caution. Controlling behaviors. You know what's weird? I like to be controlled in a relationship. I'm controlling at work, but like in my relationships, I kind of like being dominated. I don't know what that means. Something to do with my childhood, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of weird. A green flag. I don't know if anybody's got green flags. It's a healthy and well-adjusted, stable person. That's not me. Treating you kindly and being supportive. No, I don't think so. I am like everyone else. I come from a dysfunctional household. Everybody yelling. Remember that scene at the Saturday Night Fever table when they're all hitting each other at the table? That's my family. Yelling and screaming. That's talking. 96% of us are from dysfunctional families, which, yeah, is anybody normal? I don't know if there's anybody normal. So beige is just like an annoying behavior, somebody just doing something that might bother you. But if you're in love with someone, you're going to accept it. That's what love is. You take the dysfunction and like it. A new psychology paper suggested dysfunctional relationships are a precursor to mental illness. I can believe that. Relationships that are unsatisfying or distressing, Mommy Dearest is calling, can trigger a psychological predisposition for mental illness. Now, if you're not like already grounded, I think that'll happen because I have somebody in my life that their girlfriend broke up with them and they're kind of losing their mind. And I'm suggesting, talk to a mental health counselor. Like I've had such bad relationships where I run out of the house screaming, but I kind of get over it. It's like you have to like yourself. Barbra Streisand said in the 70s or 80s, I don't remember which decade, if the crowds leave me, I'll still have me. And I like that. I am the best. I think I'm the coolest person. I'm fun to be around. I make people laugh. I don't know if you want to be in a relationship with me when I put these things with a sip left or with the Cheetos, the small Cheetos. I'm crazy. I don't know if I can read my writing. It says 70% of the population marries. Is that true? And so I'm weird. I'm not married. Never been married. Never wanted to get married. Never wanted kids. 59% of the younger kids live together in sin, which, yeah, I can kind of get that. You got to get to know people's habits. Have 2 bathrooms. I heard that helps. So people in bad relationships experience unfavorable mental health. Like go see a shrink. If you're getting hit, that's not good. PTSD, depression, drunks. They become drunks and have anxiety. I start out with anxiety. You just got to go through stuff. I mean, things are not easy. And the way I look at it is if it breaks up and someone cheats on you, because I've been cheated on. If somebody cheats on you, you step up. You get a better person the next time. There's always someone else. And one of my friends used to say, and this is terrible, there's more trash in the dump. I don't kind of like that, but what are you going to do? So I saw this documentary on Rock Hudson on HBO, or his name was Roy Fitzgerald, All That Heaven Allows. I watched it with my mom after Parasite, and the big scandal, not that he was gay, not that he had AIDS, but he was a Republican, a Reagan Republican, good friends with the Reagans. Didn't help him when he was trapped in Paris, and they wouldn't let him in the hospital because he wasn't a French citizen. He asked them to intervene. They did not. He had to charter his own plane, 250 grand, because the airlines wouldn't let someone with AIDS fly on their... Oh, it's awful. I just think that what people went through in the 80s, and I had a best friend who died of AIDS, and he never told me he had it, so I'm thinking he didn't trust me, which kind of was a good thing, because I'm thinking when I was in a circle of everybody smoking weed, and this guy was HIV positive, I said, I'm all set. And that's kind of like, I didn't know. I mean, that's kind of terrible. It was prejudice of me to do that, but I was so scared. Well, back then, you're like, it was a death sentence, and all the gays were dying. I mean, no lesbians, but I'm just saying, the gay guys, it was like, I remember my friends used to like have sex in the park. And I said to my best friend, can you please not do that anymore? I don't want you to die. And he stopped. And he's still around today. Thank God for that. I don't want to lose people. Is sex that important, you guys? I know women don't really care, but I know men, it's a big deal. So Rock Hudson was like a kinky little man. I'll tell you, he had a lot of... let's say male parties, and some guy called him on the phone, which is not a good friend. He recorded the conversation. Hey, I got a guy for you. I got a guy I want you to meet. He's well endowed. He's about 9 inches. And when's a good time to meet? And Rock's like, oh, anytime. So I don't really want to hear that. I mean, I don't care what he did. And just like Doris Day said, I don't care what he did in his personal life. I wouldn't tell you or talk about it anyway. That's a good friend. She stayed with him till he was dead. Linda Evans, when he did that kiss, that closed mouth kiss on Dynasty, remember that? No one would even put her makeup on. That they were afraid she had it. So, like, the social death happens before the physical death. He married a gay woman who took his boat. Nice. Don't marry a woman. We'll take everything you got. Why can't we just make our own money? I never understood that kind of thing. I understand if you're like raising the kids and stuff, but like I want my own money. I don't want my husband's money. You know, I don't understand that. But I'm sure he was like sorry he married. And I just don't get like going through your life and not admitting who you are. I'm not a famous actor, but yeah, if I ever become famous on the radio, I was already out. So whoever likes me likes me. If you don't, I'm sorry. I'm very likable. Okay. He didn't like James Dean. I guess he came on to him during that movie Giant. And James Dean, I guess he figured, oh, he's living a double life. He's not admitting who he is or whatever. But James Dean was bisexual or whatever. I don't believe in it, but you know what I'm saying. That way, gay. And he claimed Rock made advances on him. So maybe there was some stuff in that show, I'll tell you what, where they had all these gay guys talking about... He tried to put it in me and it wouldn't fit. I'm like, do I need to hear this graphic stuff? It's like I have that in my head now. It'll never leave. I remember his last boyfriend when he had AIDS was Mark Christian. He was kind of good looking, so he had good taste. He kind of probably didn't like the effeminate kind of guys. He liked the male, you know, because I'll tell you, I was attracted to him. He was a good looking guy. And I loved his little banter with Doris Day and pillow talk. And then, you know, it was like almost like a double entendre, like how he would take a sip of his drink and have the pinky fly up. And he was like an innocent man, like almost like he was gay and lovable. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills news. Mauricio and Kyle Richards have split. They still live in the same house. This is popular these days. They're not divorced yet. But they were married 27 years. I remember that dinner from Hell Party in the first season when Alison Dubois, you know, The Medium. Remember that show, The Medium? It was after her. And she said she was smoking an e-cigarette. And she said, he'll never emotionally fulfill you. Well, you know what? They were all interviewing her saying, yeah, mic drop, I got that. But like 27 years? I'm sorry, but that's a successful marriage to me. I can't make it past 3 with somebody. 3 years. I get annoyed very quickly. Must be the beige flags. I don't know. But I'm telling you, that everybody thought he was sleeping with Dorit because PK, Dorit's husband, said, who would you sleep with out of this group? He immediately said Dorit before PK could say, no, not outside of our wives, meaning. So, I mean, he did pick the prettiest one. Dorit is very fashionable. She dresses really nice. One last thing before I go. Florida's cracking down. That DeSantis, again, cracking down on out-of-state licenses. Of course, it's like up here. Connecticut, Vermont, Rhode Island, and soon to be Massachusetts, because we voted, and I was struggling with this myself, about illegal immigrants having driver's license. And so I had to weigh this. I argued with people. They're not supposed to be here. That's the Republican side. You're right. And my side is they're here. They're here. They're working. What about the employers who hired them? They're working. If they're going to be driving, you want them to be legal in case they hit you. You want them to be trained in the driving, take driving classes. You want them to have insurance. I mean, that's the way I look at things. I'm a realist, Yeah, they're not supposed to be here, but stop hiring them then. Okay. I have that issue. So DeSantis is like, he's really like so horrible. He hates immigrants. He hates gay people or drag queens who are harmless. They're harmless. And he hates Chinese people. I mean, come on. I think he says someone in our country illegally and has violated our laws should not possess a government-issued ID. I mean, this is the big thing now, these culture wars. But I don't like again, Trump doesn't care about this stuff, okay? I'd rather take the narcissist over the fascist. That's the way I look at these two. If I had to pick one, if I was, being threatened with a gun to my head, pick one. I'd pick Trump because I know he's from New York. Like, he cares. He used to be a Democrat, for crying out loud. He donated to Democrats before he was enemies with Hillary and before he ran for president. But yeah, I would think DeSantis is more. And Bill Maher disagrees with me. He says that Trump is more dangerous. I disagree with that. I think he just cares so much about himself. He's so into himself. That's his worst character trait, is that he's all about him and he doesn't care about anybody but himself. DeSantis wants to change the whole. He's horrible. I look at him like a fascist. Although Trump did have those Supreme Court justices that are screwing everybody with affirmative action, women's rights. It's coming. Now they're gonna take up, if you're guilty of domestic abuse, should you have a gun? No, you should not have a gun. If you beat the crap out of me, you're violent. You should not have a gun. That's it for today. I'm looking at the time. It's you guys are probably snoring listening to me. I'm sorry if I bored you, but I'm going to go home and put this in my fridge. Thanks so much for watching. You can email me anytime, TRIXXI'Podcast@gmail.com. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Love you guys. See you next week.